What money? That was rent. My father said it with a grin. 6 years, $144,000. Gone. He sat at the kitchen table with his coffee like he'd just read me the weather forecast. My mother wouldn't look at me. She stirred her tea. Clink, clink, clink. Like that spoon was the most fascinating thing in the room. They promised me every single dollar was going into a savings account. They showed me a screenshot of a balance. They told me, "Keep going, honey, you're almost at your down payment." And the whole time, they were spending it. On what? I didn't know yet. But when I found out, I stopped asking questions. And I started saving evidence. This is a story about a folder. And what happened when I opened it at Thanksgiving dinner in front of 30 people. Before I go on, please take a moment to like and subscribe. But only if you genuinely connect with this story. And while you're at it, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. My name is Myra. I'm 28. I work in a dental lab in a small town in Virginia. Now let me take you back 6 years, to the week I moved home after college graduation. The day I carry my last box through the front door, my parents are waiting at the kitchen table. Not casually. Positioned. Dad at the head, Mom to his right. 2 mugs of coffee already poured, a third one steaming at the empty chair. That should have been my first clue. My parents don't pour coffee for me. "Sit down, sweetheart," Mom says. "Dad and I have been talking." I'm 22. I've just walked across a stage in a rented gown, shaken a dean's hand, and received a degree in applied sciences. Starting Monday, I have a job at a dental lab 14 minutes from this house. Salary, $42,000 a year before taxes. Not a fortune, but real. Dad clears his throat. "Here's the deal. You live here. Save money. Pay us $2,000 a month. And we put every penny into a savings account in your name. 3, 4 years. You've got a down payment. You're buying a house before any of your friends. $2,000 a month. $24,000 a year. I do the math in 2 seconds. My friends are signing leases on apartments. 12, 1,500 a month. And getting nothing back. This is different. This is an investment. It's the smart move," Mom adds. She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. "We're doing this for you, honey." I say yes before I finish my coffee. That night, I'm in my childhood bedroom unpacking when I hear them through the wall. Their voices are low, but the house is old and the walls are thin. Mom's voice. "This solves everything, Dale." I smile. I think she means me staying home. She doesn't. But I won't learn what everything means for another 3 years. Let me tell you what $2,000 a month looks like when you make $42,000 a year. After taxes, I take home roughly $2,700 every 2 weeks. Half of each paycheck goes straight to my parents. What's left covers gas, car insurance, my phone bill, and groceries I buy to cook dinners for the family. Because Mom says it's the least I can do since I'm living at home. I drive a 2014 Honda Civic with a cracked dashboard and a passenger window that only goes down 3/4 of the way. My coworkers go to lunch at the sandwich place on Route 9. I eat leftovers from a Tupperware container at my desk. "Why don't you just get your own place?" my coworker Danielle asks one afternoon. "I have a plan," I say. "It's going to be worth it." And I believe that. Completely. Because here's the thing. I'm not suffering in silence. I'm investing. Every month my parents are putting my money aside, and every month I'm one step closer to a front door with my name on the deed. Around month 12, I ask Mom for the balance. Casually. Over dishes. "Can I see the account? I want to add it to my budget spreadsheet." "Of course," she says. "I'll send you a screenshot tonight." At 9:47 p.m., my phone buzzes. A screenshot. White background. One line. $24,000. No bank logo. No account number. Just a number on a screen. $24,000. 12 months times 2,000. The math checks out perfectly. I stare at it in bed, and something in my chest loosens. I'm doing this right. I save the screenshot. I don't save it because I'm suspicious. I save it because I'm proud. My brother Travis is 3 years older than me. Electrician. Married his high school girlfriend Jenna at 24. They have a daughter now, Lily, 3 years old, red curls, laughs at everything. Travis lived in this house until he was 25, 4 years after high school. He never paid $1 of rent. Not once. When I bring this up at dinner one night, not angry, just curious, Dad sets his fork down like I've insulted him. Travis had different circumstances. He was saving for a wedding. I'm saving for a house, I say. That's different. How? Mom cuts in before Dad answers. Don't compare yourself to your brother, Myra. This is about your future. I let it go. I always let it go. 2 months later, Travis and Jenna close on a house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, half-acre lot in the newer subdivision off Miller Road. Listed at $260,000. Down payment, $52,000. Everyone at Sunday dinner congratulates them. Dad stands up, claps Travis on the shoulder. That's my boy, a real homeowner. I smile, I clap. I say the right things. But in the car on the way to the pharmacy that evening, a thought scratches at me and won't stop. Travis makes decent money as an electrician, sure. But Jenna was part-time at the daycare center. They had a baby. They had a wedding to pay off. $52,000 for a down payment. Where did that come from? I roll the window down. The 3/4 it'll go. And let the cold air hit my face. I don't have an answer yet. But the question starts living in me like a low hum I can't turn off. Year 3. I've paid $72,000. I ask Mom for the account number. Not the balance. The account number. I want to set up my own online access. We're standing in the kitchen. She's wiping down the counter. She doesn't look up. It's a joint account under Dad's name. You can't access it separately. Can I at least see the statements? Of course, I'll send you one tonight. Tonight comes and goes. I wait a week. Then I text her. Hey Mom, still waiting on that statement. No rush, just want it for my records. So sorry, honey. Been swamped at work. This weekend, I promise. Weekend comes and goes. I ask again, lightly, carefully, like poking a bruise to see how deep it is. 3 weeks later, she sends a new screenshot. Same white background, same plain font. Balance, $72,000. The math checks out. 3 years? $24,000 per year. $72,000 total. But this time, I look more closely. No bank name, no routing number, no header, no footer. Just a number floating on a white screen like it was typed into the Notes app on her phone. I zoom in. The font spacing is slightly uneven. My stomach does something strange. Not a lurch. More like a flinch. I sit on my bed and stare at the screenshot for 11 minutes. I know because I check the time when I start and when I stop. Then I tell myself, it's Mom. She probably just cropped it weird. I put my phone on the nightstand. I turn off the light. But I don't fall asleep for a long time. And the low hum from that night in the car, the one about Travis's down payment, gets a little louder. 3 Sundays later, the clinic closes early for a plumbing issue. I'm home by 2. The house is quiet. Dad's truck is gone. But Mom's car is in the driveway, and the sliding glass door to the backyard is open about 4 inches. I hear her voice before I see her. She's on the patio, phone pressed to her ear, facing the garden. I set my keys down on the counter, softly. Covered most of Travis's down payment, she says. She doesn't know. And Dale thinks we can keep this going another 2 years, pay off the rest of the business loans. My hand freezes on the countertop. A voice on the other end, tinny through the speaker, says something I can't make out. Then Mom again. Ruth, relax. She'll get her money eventually, when Dale's business picks up. Aunt Ruth, Mom's younger sister, the retired accountant. I hear Ruth's voice now, clearer. Connie, that's not right. You told her it was a savings account. It will be. Eventually. Just don't say anything. I don't move. I don't breathe wrong. I stand behind the kitchen island with my hand flat on the granite and feel my heartbeat in my fingertips. 52,000. Travis's down payment, my money, and the rest of the business loans. Dad's plumbing company, the one he swore was doing fine. I go to my room. I close the door without a sound. I sit on the edge of my bed. I look at my hands. Then I open my phone. I take a screenshot of the date and time, Sunday, October 15th, 2:07 p.m. I don't scream. I don't cry. I start a folder. That night, I lock my bedroom door and open the calculator app. 3 years paid. $72,000 gone. If I keep going 2 more years the way Dad wants. Another $48,000. Total, $120,000. Gone into a business I was never told was failing. Gone into a house I'll never live in. Gone. I run the scenarios. If I confront them now, they'll deny it. Mom will cry. Dad will get loud. They'll say I misheard. They might even delete the texts, wipe the emails, claim the screenshots were estimates or projections. And it'll be my word against theirs. If I walk away, just stop paying and move out. I lose everything I've already put in. $72,000. No legal standing, no paper trail, just a bitter daughter with a story nobody can verify. But if I stay, if I keep paying, if I make them keep talking, keep texting, keep emailing, keep leaving voicemails, every message becomes a line in a ledger they don't know I'm keeping. I open Google Drive. I create a new folder. I name it Home Fund Docs. The first thing I upload is the screenshot from tonight. The date, the time, the moment I found out. Then I go back through my texts. Every message where Mom mentions savings. Every email where Dad says, the account. Screenshot. Upload. Screenshot. Upload. 14 items by midnight. I close the laptop. I brush my teeth. I look at myself in the bathroom mirror for a long time. I'm not staying because I'm afraid to leave. I'm staying because I need them to keep lying. On the record. Tomorrow morning, I'll hand Mom the check like I always do. $2,000. She'll smile. She'll say thank you. And she won't know it's the first payment in a very different kind of account. I become very careful about how I ask questions. Never in person. Never where the answer disappears into the air. Always by text. Always by email. Always in words that stay. A week after the phone call, I send Mom a message. Hey Mom, just checking. The savings account is still at the same bank, right? I want to include it in my budget spreadsheet. 3 dots. Then, yes, honey, everything's growing nicely. Dad and I are so proud of how responsible you are. Screenshot. Upload. 2 months later, I email Dad. He's old school. Checks email for his plumbing business. Doesn't text much. I keep it casual. Dad, when do you think I'll be able to access the savings? I'm starting to browse house listings just to get a feel for the market. His reply comes the next evening. Give it another year or 2. The interest is good. Don't rush it. You'll thank us later. Screenshot. Upload. I never ask a question I don't already know the answer to. I just need them to put their answer in writing. Every 2 or 3 months, I find a new angle. Should I start looking at fixed-rate mortgages? Do you think $72,000 is enough for a down payment in this market? Should I start talking to a realtor? Every time they respond, every time they reference the savings. The account. Your money. And every time, I save it. Mom even sends a heart emoji once. Your future home fund is looking great, sweetheart. I stare at that text for a long time. Your future home fund. 5 words. Typed by her thumb, time-stamped by her phone. She has no idea she just wrote a line in my evidence folder. I close the app and go cook dinner for the family. Like always. Year 4, a Tuesday in March. I'm at the lab, hands gloved, bent over a dental mold when my phone vibrates in my coat pocket. I can't pick up. Mom leaves a voicemail. I don't listen to it until lunch. I sit in my car in the parking lot, windows up, engine off, and press play. Hey, sweetie, just wanted to let you know, I moved some of your savings into a different fund. Better rate. I'll explain when you get home. Love you. I replay it. 3 times. Your savings. Her voice. Her words. Recorded. Time-stamped. Stored on my carrier's servers. I save the voicemail. Then I back it up to my cloud. Then I email the audio file to myself. 3 copies. 3 locations. That night, Mom explains at the dinner table. I moved your money into a higher yield account. It's earning more now. Dad nods along like he's been briefed. That sounds great, I say. Thanks for staying on top of it. Of course, baby. That's what parents are for. I smile. I chew my pot roast. I ask for seconds. Inside, I'm cataloging. She said, your savings in a voicemail. She said, your money at the dinner table. Dad nodded. Both of them. Same room, same story, same lie. After dinner, I go to my room and open the Google Drive folder. 14 screenshots, 3 email threads, and now 1 voicemail. 18 pieces, and counting. I lie in bed and think about something Aunt Ruth said on the phone that Sunday. That's not right, Connie. Ruth knows. Ruth disapproves. Ruth told Mom to stop. But Ruth is Mom's sister. Blood runs thick in this family. The question is, how thick? I drive to Aunt Ruth's house on a Saturday morning, 30 minutes through back roads, past the feed store and the old rail bridge. She lives in a small brick rancher with window boxes full of pansies. She opens the door before I knock, like she's been expecting me. Kitchen, she says. I just made coffee. We sit across from each other at her little Formica table. She's 52. Retired early. Bad knees. Worse back. 26 years as a county accountant. She knows what money looks like when it's been moved around. I don't ease into it. Aunt Ruth, I need to ask you something, and I need the truth. She looks at me for a long time. Her coffee steams between her hands. You heard us on the phone that Sunday, didn't you? I nod. She closes her eyes, opens them, sets her mug down. Your mother told me, her exact words, Myra's rent money covered most of Travis's down payment. I told her it wasn't right. She said you'd get it back when Dale's business picked up. And you believed her? No. Ruth shakes her head. I didn't. The kitchen is quiet except for the tick of her wall clock. A cardinal lands on the feeder outside the window and leaves. Aunt Ruth, if I ever needed you to say that out loud, to someone who matters, would you? She doesn't answer immediately. I watch her jaw work. She's thinking about Connie, about blood, about holidays and phone calls and 30 years of sisterhood. Then she reaches across the table and puts her hand over mine. She's my sister. But you're my niece, and what they did is wrong. I squeeze her hand. I don't say anything else. I drive home with both hands on the wheel and a second name in my corner. Year 5. I find the county legal aid clinic the way most people find things they need badly, late at night, alone, typing into a search bar with shaking fingers. Free consultation? Tuesdays and Thursdays? Walk-ins welcome. I go on a Thursday after work, still in my scrubs. The waiting room smells like floor wax and old magazines. A woman with a stroller sits across from me, bouncing a baby on her knee. A man in paint-stained jeans fills out a form with a pencil stub. They call my name after 40 minutes. Greg Novak, paralegal. Mid-40s, reading glasses on a cord, shirt sleeves rolled to the elbow. He shakes my hand and points to a chair. Tell me what happened. I talk for 30 minutes. I don't cry. I lay it out the way I've been rehearsing in my car for months. Facts, dates, dollar amounts. Then I open my phone and show him the folder. He scrolls. Slowly. His face doesn't change, but his scrolling slows down the deeper he gets. How many pieces of evidence do you have? 22. Texts, emails, 1 voicemail, and a witness. He takes his glasses off and looks at me. This isn't just a verbal promise, Myra. You have corroborating written and recorded evidence. In Virginia, this could qualify as promissory estoppel. They made a clear promise. You relied on it. You suffered financially because of that reliance, and they knew you were relying on it. So I have a case? You have a strong case, but $144,000? If you go the full 6 years, that's above small claims. You'd need to file in circuit court. We can connect you with a pro bono attorney. I nod. My hands aren't shaking anymore. I want to wait, I say. Until I've paid the full 6 years. I want the number to be final. Greg studies me, then nods. Smart, but keep saving every piece. I walk out into the parking lot. The sun is going down behind the courthouse. I sit in my Civic and grip the steering wheel. For the first time in 3 years, I feel something other than anger. I feel ready. Year 6. October. The final payment clears. 72 months. $144,000. That same week, Mom sends a group text to the entire family. Thanksgiving at our place this year. Everyone's coming. 30 people confirmed. I'm so excited. I read the text in my car outside the clinic. I read it again. Then I open the calendar and count the days. 5 weeks. I call Greg Novak. He connects me with Pamela Harding, a contract disputes attorney who takes pro bono cases through legal aid. She's brisk on the phone. No small talk. Bring me everything. I bring her everything. The printed folder is 2 inches thick. She goes through it at her desk while I sit across from her, hands folded, watching her read my life in time-stamped increments. After 20 minutes, she sets it down. You have one of the strongest promissory estoppel cases I've seen at this dollar amount. We can file the day after the holiday. What if they deny everything? She looks at me over her glasses. Do you think they will? In front of the whole family? Yes. Good. Denial in front of 30 witnesses helps, not hurts. Every person in that room becomes a potential deposition. I don't plan to make a scene at Thanksgiving. I plan to ask one question, one last time, in front of people who can hear the answer. If they tell the truth, we handle it as family. If they lie, I handle it in court. The week before Thanksgiving, I go to the office supply store on Route 9 and buy a manila folder. I print every screenshot, every email, every voicemail transcript. I slide them in. I close the clasp. It weighs almost nothing. It holds everything. Thanksgiving Day. 2 o'clock. I pull up to the house and park behind a row of cars that stretches past the mailbox. Trucks, sedans, a minivan with a car seat in the back. The whole family. I check my rearview mirror. My eyes are steady. My lipstick is fine. My bag sits on the passenger seat, unzipped just enough that I can see the edge of the manila folder. Inside, the house smells like roasting turkey and cinnamon. Mom's Spotify playlist plays soft country music from the Bluetooth speaker in the living room. 30 people fill the downstairs. Aunts and uncles in the kitchen, cousins in the den, kids running through the hall. Mom finds me at the door. She pulls me into a hug that lasts 2 seconds too long. My baby girl, come in, everyone's here. Travis nods from across the living room. He's got a beer in one hand, Lily on his hip. Jenna's beside him, laughing at something Cousin Mike said. Dad's out back, standing over the grill, turning something that doesn't need turning. I make the rounds. I hug Aunt Ruth. She squeezes my arm, just once, just slightly, and I know she knows today is the day. I hug Grandma, who cups my face with both hands. You look thin, baby. I help Mom set the long table. I fold napkins. I carry the sweet potato casserole from the oven. I bounce Lily on my knee and make her laugh. Nobody looks at me twice. Nobody suspects anything. I am the youngest daughter doing what she always does. Showing up, helping out, keeping quiet. My bag sits on the floor by the coat rack. The folder is inside. The folder is patient. So am I. After the main course, Dad stands. He picks up his glass of sweet tea and taps it with a fork. Clink, clink, clink. Everybody, if I could have your attention. The room quiets. 30 faces turn toward him. He's wearing his good flannel. The one without paint stains. He looks proud. He looks like a man who believes his own story. I just want to say how grateful I am for this family, for this house, for the food. He pauses. And I'm especially proud of Travis. 31 years old. Beautiful home, beautiful wife, beautiful daughter. He's the one who really figured it out. Clapping. Travis grins. Jenna squeezes his arm. Dad isn't done. Myra. He turns to me, still smiling. You'll get there someday. Don't worry. Some people just take a little longer. Soft laughter, not cruel. Worse, patronizing. A few heads nod. An aunt I see once a year leans toward me. Still renting, sweetie? Mom answers before I can. She's saving up. She's got a plan. I look at her. A plan. I repeat her words. She smiles at me without a flicker. I set my fork down, quietly. I look at my plate. Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. The same meal I've eaten at this table every November for 28 years. Sitting there, hearing my father tell 30 people that Travis figured it out with my money. I think, does he actually believe this? Or does he just need to say it out loud so it becomes true? If you've ever sat at a family table and been made into the cautionary tale while the person who benefited from you got the toast, you know exactly what this feels like. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments. I reach for my bag. I wait for the applause to settle, for forks to resume, for attention to scatter. Then I speak. Not loud. Just clear enough for the table to hear. Dad, since we're all here, I found a house I want to buy. He looks up, still riding the glow of his toast. I'd like to start the process of withdrawing from the savings account. The one you and Mom have been managing for me. 6 years. $144,000. The room shifts. Not dramatically. Just. A few forks pause. A few heads turn. Dad looks at Mom. Mom looks at her plate. What savings account? He says. The one I've been paying $2,000 a month into. For 6 years. He stares at me. Then he laughs. Not nervous. Genuine. Like I've told a joke he finds truly funny. Myra, that was rent. You lived in our house. That was rent. The word lands in the center of the table like a dropped plate. You told me it was going into savings, I say. I don't know what you're talking about. Mom's voice, small. Dale's right. It was just rent, honey. I look at her. She's stirring her iced tea again. Clink, clink. The same sound from the kitchen table 6 months ago when this all began. 30 people sit in silence. Uncle Frank's wife puts her napkin down. Grandma's eyes move from me to Mom to Dad like she's watching a slow-motion car wreck. Travis, from the far end. Come on, Myra, don't do this here. Think about the family. Think about the family. The family that spent my money. The family that lied about it. The family that just laughed at me. I don't answer Travis. I reach into my bag. I place the manila folder on the table, right between the gravy boat and the cranberry sauce. I don't slam it. I don't throw it. I set it down the way you'd set down a hymnal in church. I didn't want to do this here, I say, but you just denied everything in front of our entire family, so let me show them what I have. I open the folder. The first page is a printed text message. I hold it up so the table can see. This is a text from you, Mom. March 15th, year 2. I asked about the savings account. You replied, and I quote, "Everything's growing nicely." Mom's lips part. No sound comes out. I turn to the second page. This is an email from you, Dad. October 8th, year 3. I asked when I could access the savings. You wrote, "Give it another year or two. The interest is good." Dad's grin is gone. His face has gone a color I've never seen before. Not red, not white. Something between, like a man watching a locked door swing open. I pull out the third page. And this is a transcript of a voicemail from you, Mom. You said, and I have the audio, I moved some of your savings into a different fund. Nobody moves. The Spotify playlist has cycled to some soft guitar song that nobody hears. Uncle Frank leans forward. Cousin Mike sets his beer down. Grandma's hands are flat on the table. Mom's eyes are locked on the folder. Her face has gone white. Not pink white. White. The color of someone watching their own handwriting on a page they never expected to see again. "Where did you get that?" she whispers. "From you," I say. "All of you. You just didn't think I was paying attention." The room fractures. Connie's hand goes to her mouth. Her eyes fill up. Right on cue. "You're tearing this family apart, Myra. On Thanksgiving. How could you?" Before I can respond, Grandma's voice cuts from the end of the table. Low, steady, 80 years of authority in 4 words. "Connie, let the girl talk." Dad stands. His chair scrapes the hardwood. "This is ridiculous. She lived here. She ate our food. $2,000 a month is fair rent anywhere." Uncle Frank doesn't look up from his plate. "Dale, $2,000 a month for a bedroom in this town? That's more than my mortgage." Aunt Linda, Frank's wife, nods. Cousin Mike crosses his arms. The room is choosing sides without saying a word. Dad jabs a finger toward me. "You're ungrateful. After everything we did for you. You used her money for Travis's house." It's Aunt Ruth. She says it from the kitchen doorway, arms folded, voice flat as a tax return. "Connie told me herself, down to the dollar." Mom spins toward her sister. "Ruth!" "Don't Ruth me, Connie. I told you 2 years ago it wasn't right." The room goes silent again. Jenna, Travis's wife, turns to look at him. Her face is open, confused, like she's hearing a language she doesn't speak. "Travis," Jenna says, "is that true?" He doesn't answer. He picks up his beer, puts it down, picks it up again. "Your down payment," Jenna says, slower. "The $52,000. That was Myra's money?" Travis looks at the ceiling. "It's complicated." It's not complicated. It's simple arithmetic and a lie that just ran out of room. Jenna's jaw tightens. She stands up from the table. Lily starts to fuss. The family hasn't eaten dessert yet. They won't. I close the folder. I stand. The room watches me the way a room watches someone who's about to walk out of a church in the middle of a sermon. Not angry, not cheering, just witnessing. "I didn't come here to fight," I say. "I came here to give you one last chance to do the right thing." I look at Dad, then Mom. "Give me a repayment plan, a real one, on paper, with dates and amounts, and we handle this as family. No lawyers, no courts." Dad's neck is red. His hands are flat on the table. He's breathing through his nose. "You're not getting a dime," he says. "You want to sue your own parents? Go ahead. Sue me." The words hang in the room like smoke. I look at him for 3 seconds. I nod. "Okay." I turn to the room. "I'm sorry to everyone here for this. You didn't deserve to spend your Thanksgiving this way. But I spent 6 years being lied to, and I wasn't going to spend another minute." I pick up the folder. I pick up my bag. I'm halfway to the door when Grandma's voice reaches me. "Myra, honey." I stop. I turn. She's still sitting. Her hands are still flat on the table. Her eyes are wet, but her jaw is set. "I believe you." 3 words. From the woman who held this family together for 50 years. I nod. I don't trust my voice, so I just nod. I walk out the front door. The screen bangs shut behind me. The November air hits my face and I realize my cheeks are dry. I didn't cry. Not once. In my rearview mirror, I see Mom on the porch. Then Aunt Ruth behind her, bending down, picking up pages that have scattered from the folder Dad threw after me. I drive home, both hands on the wheel. No music. It's done. The next part is for the court. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I call Pamela Harding from the dental lab parking lot before clocking in. He told me to sue him, in front of 30 people. Silence on the line, then a short exhale that might be a laugh. Then let's not disappoint him. We file Thursday. Promissory estoppel and unjust enrichment. Plaintiff, Myra J. Morrison. Defendants: Dale R. Morrison and Constance L. Morrison. Amount sought: $144,000. Filed in the Circuit Court of Augusta County, Virginia. I sign the documents at Pamela's desk. My handwriting is even. My hand is steady. The pen is a cheap ballpoint from a mug on her desk, and I think, this pen is worth more than every lie they ever told me. The summons is served to my parents' address the following Tuesday. Dad has to sign for it. I know this because the process server confirms it by email. Received by Dale R. Morrison, 11:42 a.m. at the front door. That evening, my phone lights up. 11 missed calls from Mom, 3 from Travis, 0 from Dad. I don't return any of them. Instead, I send one text. To Mom. Short. All communication regarding this matter goes through my attorney from now on. Her name is Pamela Harding. I love you. But I'm done being your savings account. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. Then nothing. I put my phone on the nightstand. I make a sandwich. I eat it standing at the counter in the apartment I moved into 2 weeks earlier. A 1-bedroom on Elm Street, $900 a month. No roommates, no lies, and a deadbolt I chose myself. It's the first home that's ever been completely mine. The rent goes to someone who calls it rent. 3 months later, Circuit Court. Courtroom 2B. The room is smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, an American flag hanging slightly crooked behind the bench. I sit on the right side with Pamela. I'm wearing a gray blazer I bought at the thrift store on Route 11 and the only pair of dress shoes I own. My parents sit on the left with their attorney, a man named Garrett Webb, mid-50s, hired on credit. Mom is in a blue dress I've seen at every family funeral for the past decade. Dad is in a sport coat that doesn't quite fit. Pamela presents the evidence methodically. The texts, printed, highlighted, dated. The emails, same. The voicemail, played through a small speaker. The judge listens with his hand under his chin. Ruth's sworn affidavit is entered into the record. So is Grandma's written statement confirming she heard Dale refer to the payments as savings at multiple family dinners. Garrett Webb makes his case. It was rent, a reasonable amount for room and board in the area. The judge turns to Dad. Mr. Morrison, did you ever use the words savings account when referring to your daughter's payments? Dad shifts in his seat. I might have, but it was just a figure of speech. A figure of speech. For 6 years. In text messages, in emails, on a voicemail. Dad says nothing. The judge turns to Mom. Mrs. Morrison, did you send your daughter a screenshot purporting to show a savings account balance? Mom's voice is barely audible. I was just trying to encourage her. You fabricated a financial document to encourage your daughter to continue paying you $2,000 a month. It isn't a question, but Connie nods anyway, slowly, like a woman who just realized the trapdoor was always under her feet. The judge picks up his pen. I'll issue my ruling in 2 weeks. 14 days. I don't sleep well for any of them. I work, I eat. I drive to the lab and back. I clean my apartment twice. I reorganize my kitchen cabinets by height. On a Tuesday afternoon, Pamela calls. We won, Myra, full amount. I'm sitting in my car outside the clinic. The engine is off. A sparrow is hopping across the parking lot. Full amount, I repeat. $144,000. The judge found clear evidence of promissory estoppel. Repayment ordered in monthly installments. $3,000 a month over 48 months. If they miss a payment, the court can enforce through wage garnishment or place a lien on their property. $3,000 a month. For 4 years. More than I ever paid them. Myra, you there? I'm here. You did the right thing. And you did it the right way. I hang up. I sit in the car for a long time. The sparrow is gone. Then I cry. Not the way I expected. Not triumph. Not relief. It's a strange, heavy cry, the kind that comes when something is finally over and you realize how long you were holding your breath. 6 years, $144,000, 22 pieces of evidence, 1 folder, 1 ruling. I call Aunt Ruth. She picks up on the first ring. We won, I say. She's quiet for a moment. Then, you didn't need me, honey. You had yourself. I needed you too. Well, she says, I'm glad I picked up the phone. I don't call Mom. I don't call Dad. I don't call Travis. I drive home to my apartment. I put the ruling letter on the refrigerator, under a magnet shaped like the state of Virginia. Then I make dinner. Just for one. And it's enough. Here's what happens when you lie to your daughter in a small town and lose in court. People talk. Not because they're cruel, because they know you. They know your truck. They know your pew at First Baptist. They know you fixed their water heater last March and charged $40 over the estimate. Within a month, Dale's plumbing business starts bleeding. Not fast, slow, the way a faucet drips when the washer's shot. Mrs. Kimball on Oak Street calls someone else for her bathroom remodel. The Turners go with a company out of Staunton for their new construction. Old Jean at the hardware store stops sending referrals. Nobody says why. They don't have to. Everyone was at Thanksgiving or knows someone who was. At church, Connie sits in the same pew, but the women who used to save her a seat don't anymore. They smile. They nod. They just don't scoot over. Grandma calls Connie once. You lied to that girl for 6 years, Connie, your own child. Then she stops calling. The Saturday lunches stop. The Sunday drop-bys stop. 80 years old. And she's done pretending. And then, there's Travis. Jenna doesn't leave him. But something shifts in their house on Miller Road. The house built on my payments. She takes over the finances. Opens a joint checking account. Insists on seeing every statement. Travis, for the first time in his marriage, doesn't control the money. You knew, she told him that Thanksgiving night. I didn't hear it. Ruth told me later. You knew, and you let me think we earned it. Travis didn't have an answer. Some things don't have one. Dale loses about 30% of his business over the next quarter. That's roughly $16,000 in revenue. He lets go of his part-time helper, a kid named Danny who'd been with him 2 summers. Consequences don't always roar. Sometimes they just quietly rearrange the furniture. The first payment arrives on the 15th of the month. Direct deposit. $3,000. I'm at the kitchen table in my apartment eating cereal before work when my phone buzzes with the bank notification. I stare at the number. $3,000. From Dale R. Morrison, the same man who laughed in my face. I set the phone down and finish my cereal. I wash the bowl. I dry it. I put it back in the cabinet. Then I pick the phone up again and look at the number one more time. This is the first honest money from my parents in 6 years. Here's what I know about how they're paying it. Aunt Ruth tells me some of it. The rest I piece together from the quiet channels of a small town. Dad sold his Ford F-250. The truck he bought new 3 years ago, the one with the toolboxes in the bed. Replaced it with a used F-150, 8 years old, 90,000 miles. Saved about $15,000 on the trade. Mom went full-time at the insurance office. First time in 20 years she's worked 40 hours a week. She comes home tired now, Ruth says. Goes to bed early. Travis offered to help cover the payments. Dad told him no. This is between me and your sister. Between me and your sister. Not between me and the court. Not between me and the mistake I made. Between me and your sister. Like it's a disagreement. Like it's a difference of opinion. He still can't say what it really was. But the money arrives. Every month. On the 15th. $3,000. 48 months total. I don't spend it. I put every dollar into a savings account. A real one. At a real bank. With my name on it and a routing number I can see anytime I want. Nobody manages it but me. 2 months after the ruling, I find an envelope in my mailbox. White. Handwritten. No return address, but I recognize the handwriting. The careful, slightly shaky cursive of a woman who learned penmanship in a one-room schoolhouse. Grandma. I carry it inside. I sit on my couch. I open it slowly, the way you open something you know you'll keep. Dear Myra, I've known about your mother's favoritism longer than you have. I saw it when you were 12 and she forgot your piano recital because Travis had a baseball game. I saw it when you graduated and the party was an afterthought. I didn't say anything because I told myself it was a phase, that she'd even out. I was wrong. What you did at Thanksgiving took more courage than anything I've seen in this family in 80 years. I know it cost you. I know it still costs you. But you stood in that room and told the truth when everyone else was comfortable with the lie. Your grandfather, God rest him, always said you were the tough one. Not tough because you fight. Tough because you know when to. I'm sorry I didn't speak sooner. I should have. That's on me. Love always, Grandma. I read it 3 times. The 3rd time, the words blur because my eyes won't stay dry. She knew. She always knew. And she stayed quiet to keep the peace. This letter isn't just love. It's an apology. From the one person in the family who never owed me one. And the only one brave enough to give it. I think about all the people in families who see the unfairness but say nothing because silence is easier than truth. If you've ever been that person, or if you've been waiting for someone to finally see what you see, I understand. Tell me your story in the comments. I tuck the letter into the manila folder. It sits beside the evidence now. The folder has 2 sections, proof and grace. 4 months after the ruling. A Thursday evening. I'm on the couch reading when my phone lights up. Dad. I stare at the screen through 2 full rings. My thumb hovers. Then I answer. Myra. His voice sounds different. Not smaller. Older. Like the past 4 months aged him in a way the previous 57 didn't. I'm not calling to argue, he says. I wait. I wanted to hear your voice. The line hums. I hear a television in the background, a recliner creaking. Your mother misses you. A pause. I don't know how to fix this. I close my book. I set it on the arm of the couch. Dad, fixing it starts with one word and you know which one. Silence. Long enough that I check to see if the call dropped. It hasn't. I'm sorry. His voice cracks on the second word. Not dramatically. Just a hairline fracture. I don't even know when I started lying to myself. I let the words sit. I don't rush to accept them. I don't throw them back. I appreciate you saying that. So, can we... The payments continue, Dad, and I need you to understand something. I keep my voice even. Gentle, even, but firm. I love you, but I will never trust you with my money again. That boundary isn't going away. I know, he says, quietly. I know. We sit on the phone for another 10 seconds without speaking. Then he says goodnight. I say goodnight. We hang up. It's not a reconciliation. It's not a Hallmark ending. It's a 57-year-old man calling his daughter because her absence hurts more than his pride. And a 28-year-old woman letting him speak without letting him off the hook. It's what family looks like when you strip away the lies and see what's left. Sometimes what's left isn't much, but it's honest. So here's where I am now. I'm 28. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment on Elm Street. $900 a month. I picked the paint color myself. A pale blue that catches the morning light. Every month, $3,000 arrives in my bank account. My real bank account. With a routing number and a login and a balance I can check at 3 in the morning if I want to. I'm saving for a house. My house. On my timeline, in my name. My relationship with my parents exists. Barely. I call once a month. We talk about the weather, about Grandma's knees, about nothing that matters. We don't talk about the money. We don't talk about Thanksgiving. That conversation goes through Pamela now. Travis and I don't speak. Jenna sends me photos of Lily sometimes. At the playground, in a tutu, eating spaghetti with both hands. She always captions them. She asks about Aunt Myra. I see Aunt Ruth every Sunday. We eat lunch at her kitchen table. She makes soup. I bring bread. We don't always talk about what happened. Sometimes we just sit. I keep the manila folder in my closet. The evidence. Grandma's letter. The court ruling. I don't look at it often, but I know it's there. And knowing it's there is enough. If you're listening to this and you recognize any of it, the payments that never added up, the sibling who got more, the parent who said trust me one too many times, I want to tell you something. Setting a boundary with your family doesn't make you a bad daughter. It means you're a daughter who knows her worth. Your family is supposed to be your foundation. But when the foundation is cracked, you don't keep building on it. You pour a new one. And that's what I did. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it meant something to you, if it reminded you of your own table, your own folder, your own moment of enough, hit subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you want another story like this one, about an ordinary person who finally said enough, check the link in the description. I'll see you there. Thank you for listening. I mean that.